Let me zoom out. Okay, so we're playing the role of I'm the supplier, Andy's going to be the customer, and I'm going to be sending him emails back and forth. I'm going to be sending him several different emails as I teach you as I show you each of the different options, and we'll start with the first one, and we'll work through. So let me just populate the top section here with his details. So Andy, well, it's already started to fill it in for me because Andy Kelman is already inside my address book. Alternatively, if it hadn't prompted it by now, remember from the previous versions of Office, I could have just put in something that made it unique to Andy Kelman. So Andy K. I don't think there's another Andy that's got an Andy K at the beginning. And I could have pressed which button? That would have filled in the rest of it. If it hadn't prompted me with this area here. Check names, yeah. This little tick box with the guy sitting behind it would then go and take the Andy K element, check it against my global address list, and then fill it in. If there was more than one, the check names would then populate a list and allow me to choose. So I'll go ahead and choose Andy Kelman. And I'm going to CC myself in that. And if I choose check names, it says that there is actually a distribution group of all trainers, or there is a person called trainer, and that's me, so I'll choose that. Good. The subject is, I have a new product available. It's right. Oh, no, it's not right. It's perfect for your organization. Please contact me. Ish. Okay, so pretty straightforward, nothing new there. Nothing really changed other than the fact that you've noticed that there's a ribbon across the top. However, what's new in just the simple writing element of messages is that with the Office application like Word, if you've seen the Word sessions in our training series, you would have seen things like themes that are new in Word, Office 2007 themes, Smart Art that's available, the new aspects of Word art that are available, and they've all been brought across into Outlook as well. So those functions are available here. And then you could format the email accordingly, or you could even build the email based on an entire theme rather than adding the backgrounds and the colors later. So that's something you can do in here as well. So in terms of cosmetic design, it's moved on a lot. One of the things to be careful when you're writing an email is to decide from the beginning, am I writing an email that's going to be purely made up of text, which means that it can reach the largest variety of email recipients, or am I going to be writing something that's got word art, smart art, themes and colors and banners and some pictures inside it, in which case you're changing the type of email you're sending to formats known as rich text, or even further than that, HTML. Now, if you want them in some sort of order, the lowest and most commonly used or most accepted, most compatible format of email that you can get is simple text. Can't have pictures, can't have colors, can't have anything, just text. Everybody would read it. It's not much fun. The next type is rich text, which allows you to have bold, italics. It allows you to have colored fonts, but doesn't really can't include any dynamic data, can't include any HTML layout, web layout, but at least it's still going to be received by a lot of people. The third type and the most cosmetically appealing, but the least of the compatible modes, is HTML. Okay, so 3 different types of email formats that you can use. Do it now. I'll do it as a separate email. Good. So we're leaving it as simple text, and I'm going to send that email off to Andy. That's gone off. And hopefully, if I look at my folder structure, if you notice my folder structure really hasn't changed very much from the default installation of previous versions. I've still got a deleted items basket. I've got drafts, which are emails that haven't been sent yet, but I'm still working on. Inbox are emails that I've received or messages I've received. Junk email are those that have been, well, as the name suggests, have been marked as junk email. Outbox are messages waiting to go that haven't been sent yet. But notice the difference between outbox and drafts. Drafts are emails that I haven't committed to sending yet. Still working on them. Outbox is the location where emails that I have written and committed to send will sit until my Outlook or my server have actually managed to send them off. The reason why emails might reside in the outbox for a while is because I've clicked send for them to go, but I haven't got a connectivity to my internet service provider, or I've possibly delayed the email from being sent right now to another time. And that's a new feature in 2007. Writing a message now and delaying it so that it doesn't get sent until a week down the road. RSS feeds are new, and we'll look at those. Sent items are pretty straightforward, and search folders are predefined queries that you can have set up. Okay, so hopefully if I go to my inbox, we should see that there is an email from myself, Trainer, I have a new product available. And if I move this to-do bar along a little bit, or even collapse it completely, there's my preview pane that was available in previous versions as well. Andy, did you receive an email? You did, okay. Good, and you've been able to read it. Could you just send me a quick reply so they can come back in here? It could just be a simple message that says, and be nice this time. Otherwise you don't get a discount on the products I'm going to be selling you. Here goes Andy, typing a thesis. It's not a poem. Okay, the reason why I want you to see, here we go. Instantly the message comes in. We've got this, we've got the bubble that used to appear before to remind us the fact that we've got an email in our inbox. That's appeared as usual. There's Andy's email, and I can read it. And there it is in the preview pane. What's interesting, though, is these two little flags that have appeared, and I'll zoom in so that you can see them. These two little options per email in my inbox. One is a flag which was, like before, flag to follow up to do. So if I was to right-click on the flag, you can see that I can set to follow up. It's something that I have to do later on, depending on when I want to do it. You can customize what the setting should be. I could even mark it as complete with the tick boxes before. Okay, so... Or you could add a little reminder so it'll pop up and remind you of the fact that you've got to do something. But at least it's easily accessible now versus the previous versions. The flags are available right there, right-click, and we can choose them. And we've also got this little squares inside, which are color categorization. So I can right-click on that and assign a color scheme to each of these. And if I assign a color, for example, Andy Kelman is going to get a red color, it's given it a red, and then for me, I've got to be able to remember that red means Andy Kelman. Okay? Alternatively, I could assign him a different color. And pretty much assign values to them. There we go, sorry. There's my red category here. I could effectively rename that to meaning Andy Kelman. Okay, so Andy Kelman sales. Any sales that I'm making to Andy Kelman will all be red, so I can mark them. So you've got color categorization, and you've got the follow-ups to do. What's interesting is that if you want to set an email, if I send an email to Andy and I want to mark it with a follow-up, you've got to remember that when you send an email, it doesn't appear in your inbox, it goes into the sent items. Now, a lot of people delete the contents of their sent items. So once again, if I send an email to Andy and say, hey, here's a new product, get in touch with me. I'll get in touch with you in a week's time with some brochures and marketing material to tell you a little bit about the specifications of our new product. And I mark that for follow-up. He's going to receive the email with a flag that says it needs to be followed up. That's my customer. What on earth is he following up? It's for me to follow up. So what people should really do is mark it for attention, CC yourself with the email so that it appears in yours with a marked as follow-up as well. Okay? There's no point marking it for follow-up for the customer and then just sending it when it doesn't appear in your inbox. Okay, so these are a couple of new features as well. The categorization and the flagging for follow-up.